Welcome back to the channel, guys. Drew here, and a big part of if you're going to grow your fleet, if you got one or two cars, this may not be that big a deal, but a big part of growing your fleet is being able to utilize remote check-ins. And I've been doing this for 4.5 years now, and I've used a lot of different brands, and I've found one brand that is absolutely the best for remote check-ins. And if you're going to build your fleet and base your business model using remote check-ins, whether it's the airport or home or a local, a local place close to you, this brand should be in your fleet in some way, shape, or form, because they have the very best platform for it. And I'm going to tell you what that is. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. So listen, I've been a big proponent of Chevrolet's OnStar system. I love the OnStar system. I've used it for years, and I like it because it does a couple things. One, it's a hardwired GPS in the vehicle, so I can locate my vehicle on demand whenever I need it. And I don't even really need, if the car's very inexpensive, I don't even need a separate tracker that I'm paying a monthly fee on. So I love that. Now, if the car's high-end, like my Chevrolet Corvette, like some of my higher end, I had a ZR2 Bison, which is about a $50,000 truck. Sometimes I'll put a separate tracker in there just because I like to know, have a better baseline of where that vehicle's gone if it stops showing up, or if the tracker is removed of the vehicle, and that helps me. I have two different trackers in the vehicle. But the OnStar system is great. Okay, it gives you a GPS, but more importantly, it allows you to remote check-in vehicle from your phone. You can unlock the vehicle from your phone. You can lock the vehicle from your phone. You can check the mileage and a lot of different things from your phone. It gives you really good, some good data, but most importantly, it's a hardwired tool that allows you to unlock and lock the vehicle. This service, the basic service, which is the unlock, remote start, and that basic service used to be free. Now, about 1.5 years ago, OnStar started charging like $10, $12. I think I pay like $12 a month on it, which was kind of irritating, but it's still worth it if you're doing Turo with the business. So $12 a month allows you to do easy remote check-in, in and out, whether it's at the airport or at your house or a local place, meeting place, wherever you leave your vehicles. It's a game changer as far as efficiently. No more trying to schedule when the guest's going to be there. You got the time, and whenever they get there, and they text you, you check them in, they send you the photo of the license, right? A selfie holding your license in front of the vehicle. If you don't do those two things, that is a foolproof for Turo saying, well, did you check the vehicle out to the right person? So remote check-ins are huge, and OnStar is a great asset. That's why I have several Chevrolets in my fleet. I like them, but I purchased my very first Ford just a few months ago, the Ford Maverick. You've kind of heard me talk about it like in almost every video. I love the Ford Maverick. I love the price of the Ford Maverick. I love that it's going to hold its value really well, and it's a great little vehicle for Turo if you can get your hands on one. But in using the Ford Maverick for the first time, I had to use Ford's app, and it is an awesome tool. I think it's as good as OnStar as far as the remote access. But a couple things that Ford has over even Chevrolet is Ford app is pretty much free. They're not charging any monthly fees for it, and so I like that. I mean, that saves me, $140, $150 a year for each individual vehicle. So that's great. The big advantage that Ford has over Chevrolet, if you're familiar with Fords, is virtually every single Ford you can get a little keypad right on the door. I have in front of me, I just got my Ford Bronco in finally, 1.5 years from when I put the reservation in. I was holding firm and I wanted the hardtop. I wanted the 2-door hardtop, and they were having a lot of issues with some different things with that. But finally came back from the tire shop yesterday. I got 35s on it with a 2-inch lift. Just invested a little bit extra money. I'll do a whole video on the stuff you should accessorize your vehicle for Turo and the stuff you shouldn't spend money on. we'll do a whole video on that coming soon. But this video is about why Ford is the very best for remote check-ins. You have the app that we talked about, but you also have something that is available on almost every single Ford. Is a little keypad. If you look right here, you can see a little keypad right. We're blinded by my own thing here. It's right above. This is where it is on the Bronco. Sometimes it's up on the door here. That is a game changer. I'll tell you why. Because one issue you'll have sometimes with remote check-ins, especially if the car's parked in, like at an airport in a garage, where it's got layers of concrete. Sometimes the remote check-in, won't be able to get to the car. Or sometimes there'll be a server issue, and for whatever reason, the car just is not picking up the signal. Now, on OnStar, it's pretty rare. I would say like maybe 1 out of 40, 50 times. So it's pretty good, but it can be very frustrating if the customer is at your house or at the airport, and they're trying to get in the vehicle, and you're trying to remote unlock it, and it's just not working. So Ford backup plan, having that keypad is awesome because it's not something you're going to use every time. But, and this has happened on I've used the Ford Pass and OnStar, and I've had it a few times, I should say, 1 out of 50 times where it just won't work. And I've had it taken, sometimes 30 minutes or even up to 40 minutes where I couldn't get the customer into the vehicle, and it's very frustrating. It's not a good experience for the customer. So with the Ford vehicles, having that extra keypad, it allows you only in those rare circumstances where the remote access is not working for whatever reason. Maybe the car's been sitting for a little while, or the network is down, or it just can't get a signal to the vehicle. All you can do is you just call the customer, you tell them, I would recommend calling them and telling them to punch in the code. And what that does is a little bit safer as far as them not having the actual code on their phone to use later on if they're locals. Now, if they're flying out of town, I wouldn't really worry too much about it. But that code, if you're really worried about it, you could probably change it afterwards. But having that code is a huge benefit because it doesn't matter if you can't get a signal to the car, for whatever reason it's not working. You can give them the code, you can check them into the vehicle, and you'll never have that issue of a guest, waiting 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you calling OnStar, you calling Ford and saying, hey, the remote access is not working. What do I do? How do I get this? So that's a game changer to me. Free Ford Pass, free GPS tracking, free remote access in and out of the vehicle from remote check-ins, and the addition of a keypad, $100 to add the keypad. It's dirt cheap, so I wouldn't buy a Ford without it if you plan on doing a lot of remote check-ins. Now, based on that, if I was brand new to the Turo game, if I was starting out a Turo business and I had unlimited capital and a good connection with a dealership where I could get a bunch of fair deals, you could build an entire fleet just on the Ford brand using remote check-ins, and you got an awesome fleet. Think about the vehicles that Ford has. The Ford Maverick, I love it. Ford Bronco, this will be, I predicted, if you haven't seen my video, that the Ford Bronco will be the best vehicle to have on Turo as far as ROI for 2022. The hard thing is if you haven't had a reservation in for over 12 months, then it's going to be hard to get a deal from the dealerships because they're marked up 10, 15, sometimes 20 grand, right? The Bronco Sport. I've talked to several Turo hosts that are killing it with the Bronco Sport, and those are easy to get a hold of. Maybe some minor markup adjustments, but you definitely can get a deal on a Bronco Sport. I would recommend the Cyber Orange on the Bronco Sport. It looks great. It pops on the Turo, on the platform. And I know a couple of hosts that are just killing it with Bronco Sports. They're getting, $100, $109, $120 a day in certain areas with a Bronco Sport. And that's a vehicle that you can get for 30 grand. Maybe if you really want to load one up, $35,000. The Mach-E rents really well. A lot of hosts are doing well with the Mach-E, especially with gas prices going up and a big interest in electric vehicles. And then, if you haven't seen my EV video on electric trucks coming, I predict, besides the Cybertruck, we'll put the Cybertruck on standby because who knows when the heck they're going to build that thing and actually get it to the platform. And if you don't have a reservation on that, you got to pay somebody to cut the line, because there's like 1.5 million reservations for the Cybertruck. So if you scratch the Cybertruck, I think the Ford Lightning is the best vehicle to try to get a hold of, the best EV truck as far as the amount of money spent towards ROI. I think that's the best vehicle to have. So if you can get a fleet of all Ford vehicles, that's 5 or 6, and virtually all of them are outstanding for the Turo platform. Another thing, which I haven't done a lot of research in this, but there's one vehicle that literally, you're trying to find a deal on a cheap vehicle. Ford has this little, it's like a Eco Sport or something. It's like a little tiny SUV that you can get in all-wheel drive. And every single Ford dealership that I've gone to has like dozens of these things. They can't give these things away. So if you're trying to get a deal on something cheap, go, and you're new to the business, starting out, you want to use remote check-in, go to a Ford dealership and try to get about 3 dealerships negotiating on one of these cheap little Eco Sport, whatever they are, the little SUVs. They're hideous vehicles. The reason why they can't give them away, but there's probably a good chance you can negotiate thousands off of MSRP on these vehicles, and Ford probably has some pretty aggressive rebates. So check that vehicle out. Maybe that will work for you. If you're renting it as an economy vehicle, I mean, it can't be any worse than some of these other things that people are renting. So look, hopefully that's helpful. But
hey guys, it's Colin. I edit all the videos. I'm kind of the behind the scenes guy for the YouTube channel. After I started editing this one, Andrew shot me a text and said, hey, we really have to add one more to the list. So doing it in kind of a fun, creative way. The last one that you need to add to the list of everything Andrew covered in this video is the Ford Mustang convertible. So I got a picture up on screen. Make sure to give that one a look too. All right, sending it back to Andrew.
Look, hopefully that's helpful, but remote check-ins on the Turo platform, Ford is the best, and without a doubt, I've checked a lot of different ones. If you think there's something better, let me know, because I'd like to find out, what does that manufacturer have that Ford doesn't have, because I think they're the best. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm out. Thanks for tuning in.